Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. As we settle firmly into 2026, the traditional image of warfare is rapidly changing. We're seeing battlefields dominated by armed drone swarms, hypersonic cruise missiles, and AI-driven targeting systems. Major world powers are completely rewriting their military doctrines, shifting toward extreme mobility, decentralized forces, and long-range strikes. But while the whole world seems to be pivoting toward lighter and faster options, it raises a fascinating question. Why is a tech powerhouse like South Korea pouring massive amounts of money into a 35-ton amphibious behemoth? Today, we're taking a deep dive into the next-generation Korean amphibious assault vehicle, the KAAV-II by Hanwha Aerospace, the armored monster that's about to become the new spearhead of the Republic of Korea Marine Corps. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the KAAV-II, we need to understand the broader context of the Asian military arms race. Think about it. If we're talking about the undisputed king of active-duty amphibious vehicles right now, that title belongs to China's ZBD-05, or the Type 05 family. The People's Liberation Army built this machine with one very specific goal in mind: a rapid cross-strait amphibious invasion of Taiwan. China designed their vehicle to hit water speeds of nearly 30 kilometers per hour, making it the fastest active-duty amphibious armor in the world right now. It is a clear reflection of China's doctrine: get troops across the water as fast as physically possible to minimize their exposure to enemy fire. Over in South Korea, the geopolitical reality demands something just as capable, if not better. South Korea isn't just dealing with rugged, rocky coastlines. They're staring down a heavily fortified North Korea that is well prepared to repel a beach landing. The South Koreans know that in the event of a full-scale conflict, a lightning-fast amphibious flank remains their most powerful strategic trump card. But to smash through those fortified defenses, they can't rely on vehicles that trade armor for speed. They need the water-skimming speed of the Chinese vehicles, but with the powerful and heavy armor of a main battle tank. That is exactly why Hanwha Aerospace stepped up to develop this next-generation vehicle, replacing the aging KAAV-71 and challenging China for dominance over the coastal battlespace. The KAAV-II was designed with concepts that honestly seem to defy physics. Normally, when an armored vehicle hits the water, it just floats and pushes forward like a flat-bottomed boat, which severely limits its speed to around 10 or 15 kilometers per hour. But Hanwha Aerospace went with a planing hull design. When the engine revs up, hidden hydrodynamic flaps deploy, literally lifting this 35-ton vehicle above the water surface to drastically reduce drag. This allows it to skim across the ocean at speeds matching the Chinese Type 05. Achieving this kind of speed is crucial because it essentially cuts the time Marines spend as sitting ducks in the open water right in half. And the second this 35-ton beast's tracks hit the beach sand, it transforms into a terrifyingly lethal mobile fortress. The main weapon system on the KAAV-II is a massive leap forward. It features an unmanned turret, meaning the crew stays perfectly safe deep inside the heavily armored hull. This turret packs a 40mm CTA, or cased telescoped ammunition, gun. Because the projectile is entirely encased within the cylindrical cartridge, the vehicle can carry significantly more ammo while delivering a much higher muzzle velocity. It can punch straight through enemy armor or point its barrel skyward to swat down the small drones swarms that are defining modern warfare. Since I spend so much time talking about AI and tech, I have to highlight the sensor package on this thing. The KAAV-II is equipped with an advanced fire control computer, high-res thermal optics, and a laser rangefinder, all tied together by automated target tracking algorithms. It can precisely lock on to moving targets even while the vehicle is pitching and rolling in heavy ocean waves. It is a perfect example of seamlessly blending brutal military hardware with next-gen software to take the cognitive load off the troops, letting them focus entirely on split-second tactical decisions. But pushing the envelope of global innovation is never a smooth ride. In late 2023, the KAAV-II project faced a tragic and brutal setback. During a prototype sea trial in Pohang Bay, the vehicle experienced severe flooding in the engine compartment and sank rapidly, resulting in the tragic deaths of 2 defense contractors. The incident sent shockwaves through the military engineering community. The project was temporarily grounded, and many people worried this might be a fatal stumble that would leave South Korea permanently lagging behind its strategic rivals. However, the engineering team refused to fold. They took that incredibly painful lesson and went straight back to the drawing board. They completely overhauled the water sealing systems. They added massive buoyancy modules to the sides of the hull to guarantee that, even in a worst-case scenario, the vehicle would stay afloat long enough for every single Marine to escape. They also integrated high-capacity water pumps and redesigned the emergency hatches to open easily under extreme pressure. This resilience shows a profound commitment to pushing engineering limits while prioritizing the lives of the troops who operate them. To really put this fierce competition into perspective, I've pulled together the hard data to compare South Korea's next-gen KAAV-II directly against the current active-duty King, China's ZBD-05. I've included the estimated procurement costs in standard US dollars so we can see exactly what these militaries are paying for. Let's take a look at the differences in this table together. If you look closely at this data, there are a lot of fascinating strategic secrets hidden in these numbers. Looking at China's ZBD-05, their philosophy is crystal clear. Go light and go big on numbers. China opted for a welded aluminum alloy hull to aggressively cut the weight down to just 26.5 tons. Because it's so light, they only need a 1,475 horsepower engine to propel it across the water at 30 kilometers per hour. They also threw in HJ-73C anti-tank missiles for extra punch. But the real kicker is the cost. At just $3 to $4 million a pop, China can afford to use mass swarm tactics, sending an overwhelming wave of armor onto a beach simultaneously. South Korea, on the other hand, took a much more aggressive and heavy-handed route with the KAAV-II. They are willing to carry a massive 35-ton footprint just to guarantee armor protection that completely outclasses China's aluminum hulls. But here is the real engineering miracle. To make a vehicle that heavy move as fast as the Chinese counterpart on water, South Korea had to cram a colossal 2,800 horsepower water jet engine into the chassis. That is nearly double the power of the Chinese engine. It is absolute technological brute force, and South Korea is fully willing to make that investment. Furthermore, where the KAAV-II completely crushes the competition is in its troop transport capacity. While the Chinese vehicle maxes out at about 8 to 10 soldiers, the South Korean machine packs up to 21 fully geared Marines. That's more than double the capacity. It means that vehicle for vehicle during a beach landing, South Korea can deploy a significantly denser fighting force. Plus, that 40mm gun is designed as an all-in-one solution for both enemy armor and drones, completely eliminating the need for external missile pods. Sure, all that premium tech pushes the price tag up to around $7 million per unit, but when you look at it from the perspective of troop survivability, it is an incredibly worthwhile investment. Looking ahead, South Korea successfully developing this vehicle isn't just about shifting the balance of power in Asia. It's about ripping the doors off the global arms export market. Right now, a lot of nations with coastal borders are desperately looking to replace their aging amphibious fleets. If you want a vehicle that's incredibly fast on water but built like a brick house, your options in the current market are basically zero. If Hanwha Aerospace can get the KAAV-II onto the production line, they're going to become a massive disruptor, stealing serious market share from China by offering thicker armor, more horsepower, and double the troop capacity. The story of the KAAV-II teaches us a lot about bold vision, bouncing back from catastrophic failures, and finding the perfect balance between heavy engineering and tactical agility. It proves that while the rest of the world might be obsessed with small drones, reliable heavy armor is still the absolute beating heart of a real-world battlefield. So what do you guys think? Will South Korea's 2,800 horsepower tank actually outmaneuver China's lightweight swarm tactics in a real fight? Let me know your thoughts, and let's get a discussion going down in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, this straight-talking analysis, and getting a fresh perspective on tech, business, and the future of warfare, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on the premium content we drop every day. For now, I'm Mix signing off, and I will catch you guys in the next video.